Hello, hello, and welcome back for a weekly market outlook after a long time. Hope you're good, doing well. Uh, let's quickly talk about some charts. All right, yeah. So we were expecting gold to break out. I'm gonna start with this chart and then all right. So if you have any problem over there on YouTube, just let me know. Yeah, I will try to fix it. Hopefully it is okay, working fine. So let's move. Let's move on. So uh before going to look at that, we need to understand that what's happening on a bigger chart. All right, before going to look at this, what has happened over there on this. So I should have look at the gold against the dollar. All right, so if we're gonna look at the weekly time frame, this is the gold chart, and this is the gold chart 2 week. Let's look at the 2 week. All right, this is what gold is doing. Okay, so gold is in a strong bullish trend. We can see there, and 2002, since rising 2002, yeah, from here, and then we saw a correction. Then we saw a big sideways market since 2011 and till 2014, and then we started to go again for upside, and then we saw again a big sideways market there for some time, and then we got a breakup. Then we saw a sideways market over there, and then again we saw a breakup, right? So it's very much like a parabolic move we are having on gold, all right? And again, we are having a sideways market over there, which is setting up for another breakup. So what actually driving this, all right? What actually causing that move to happen, all right? Why gold is just rising? So it was, went into a bigger weekly sideways, dropped, then again going parabolic. The simple reason is that is the money supply, okay? Because more money is just coming into the market, causing, if I'm gonna M2, M2, right? So I'm gonna look at the US M2, US M2. I'm gonna pull out that chart, okay? So there we can see there. So money supply is in a parabolic move. Hopefully you can see my line, that blue line, okay? So there we can see there. So since 1979, all right? So the money supply is increasing, we can see there. So we saw a pause over there at I mean a little pause over here, right? Which, I mean, this the gold went into a sideways, you can say that. Not exactly similar like that, but still, money supply was rising in that pause, all right? And we saw, a little pause here as well, okay, at this area, which caused that gold to go into a sideways, and then again started to rise. Money supply rising, and gold actually is catching up that money supply. So money supply is standing over there at 22.1 trillion, all right? And gold total market cap is 32. This is the US money supply, all right? So money, as long as this money supply keep rising, okay, we're gonna see that the gold gonna fall. Gold will catch up the money supply. So there you can see the recent run. We were expecting that move to happen from here, gold on gold, from there, this, all right, this place. We were expecting gold to rise from here, okay, because there was a big jump into the money supply and gold was staying a sideways here, and then we saw a breakout on gold and gold started to catch up that money supply. So money supply is leading the move on the gold, all right, as long as you see that the gold is money supply is increasing, gold will continue to increase its value, right? So there we can see. So okay, so before we understand that, I mean, either this money supply is going to continue to keep pushing more higher, or going to fall. We need to understand the policy, the Fed policy, all right? So what Fed policy is saying. So right now the Fed policy is very much simple. They're cutting the interest rate, all right? Bringing down the interest rate means that the money supply again gonna continue to keep taking off, all right? So that's the tight monetary policy, all right? The tight monetary policy started off the COVID, March 2022, and they were taking out the money supply from the market, right? And tightening policy, okay, this is the tightening policy, and then again started to lose the monetary policy, which caused add up in the money supply, and gold started to catch up. So interest rate is sitting at let me check exactly what is the interest rate right now. US interest rate, USINTR. Okay, so there we can see the USINTR is coming down. All right, so interest rate stopped over there, and now interest rate is coming down. All right, so standing at 4 right now. Okay, so there is a chance that next month we're gonna in December next month we're gonna have another interest rate cut. All right, so yeah, this will keep coming down towards 2%. All right, and if we're gonna look at the inflation, we quickly gonna look at the inflation. USIRYY. So if you're gonna look at the US money, inflation is already low. If you remember that I have shown that chart already. The interest rate is following the inflation. Okay, inflation is low means that this money supply gonna keep rising. This money supply is not coming down, so Fed has to keep inflation to close to 2%, all right, and interest rate to come down towards 2%, all right, and the money supply will continue to keep rising. Okay, in short, gold will continue to keep rising while that interest rate is coming down. That's my point. Okay, so we gotta sell off the aggressive sell off over here a couple of times. Okay, we got aggressive sell off. There was a pressure on gold, all right? Gold was rising, pressure was building on the government, by the way, not on the gold, all right? That the gold is forming a kind of bubble over there, and we saw intervention, aggressive sell-off, and then double top, and then we saw another aggressive sell-off. When I see aggressive sell-off, all right, so you can understand that by looking at the market cap, how much aggressively how aggressive that sell-off was. Right, so if I'm gonna look at this, so I have already shown that chart in my video analysis as well. So the aggressive sell-off means, so I'm just actually trying to tell you that what are the chances for the gold to drop, and what are the chances. So we are just trying to figure out the probabilities for bullish trend to continue. Right, that's what we are trying. So that's why we are looking at this on the gold from different angles. All right, so we saw the total market cap. The total market cap was 32, so we were at 32 trillion. All right, and we saw aggressive sell-off which wiped out 3.5 trillion. All right, and 3.5 trillion, and that aggressive sell-off taken out that 3.5 trillion, all right, and then again trend started to build over there, money started to come in. I mean, the longer term, the bullish trend started to build up, and then gold went up All right, so we saw again jump from 28.8 to 32. All right, at 31 to 31.2, and then again we were expecting this to continue in the previous video analysis. If you remember, we were expecting it to take out that top. All right, but we saw again aggressive sell-off here at this area, which taken out. All right, so which taken out from 31.2 to 1.5. All right, so 1.5 trillion again wiped out. So since yesterday night, all right, we saw a bottom over there, we saw a floor over there, and we can see that the trend is starting to build it again. All right, so again 760 billion market cap has just increased. All right, so which is a good sign that the buyers are building again. So the longer term picture, right, so the longer term picture is the bullish market. Supply is increasing, interest rate is coming down, inflation is coming towards to 2%. All right, any sell off on gold is being bought. All right, any sell off, all right, is being bought on gold. All right, so we were yesterday, we were expecting it to, hopefully you understand that now. Right now I have to go back to this chart. All right, so we got a drop. We were expecting on the opening it to break out. We got a small move up over there, and then again sell-off came over there, and some news were there, and those news broke out and dropped that lower, and we were expecting it to find a floor over there, and it found a floor at 4,000. All right, and now it's breaking up. There was possibility for another leg lower. There is still possibility for another leg lower. Why? Because we are having, you know, some pressure on crypto market. Crypto market is struggling. Bitcoin is struggling at 90K. So if Bitcoin you know, stay under pressure, all right, so we may see some pressure on gold as well. Gold can you know, stay under pressure, all right, but eventually will go back up. So if I'm gonna look at this chart now, yeah, so 15 minutes broke out. So we broke out that top. All right, we broke out that top, what, so 41.13. all right, so not exactly gone above that, just flirting somewhere here within this area. So on the update, on the live price. All right, so yeah, this is the opportunity. All right, so opportunity, and I mean opportunity, yeah, so buy opportunity was there. All right, so if I'm gonna look at the bigger picture now, right, so we might see another triangle formation. Okay, very much similar like this, yeah, this triangle, yeah, this triangle formation. Price, what price is doing right now? Price is forming higher, you know, lower high within that you know, a triangle. We saw sell off, price went up, all right, and again saw sell off. So lower high is, you know, is forming right within that triangle. So it means that the buyers are building the pressure on this for breakup. We can see that on MACD as well. All right, MACD is moving averages basically. So moving averages are already building for breakup. There we can see that the lower, right, so low form here at this area, the next low is forming there. Okay, and we are the MACD is telling us that we may see continuation further upside back to that top, or all the way back. So these are the indications we are having. Indicators are telling us that we can see continuation, so for upside. So we saw a triangle there as well. All right, so previously, if you remember, I have shown that in my weekly video analysis as well, that the triangle set to break up. So we saw that triangle, and that triangle broke out. Yeah, so what was happening over there? We saw similar pattern, all right, the pattern which we are having right now on gold at the current price. We saw aggressive sell-off. Okay, price went up for double top, dropped. Okay, low formed over there, then price went up, sellers came in. Okay, so lower high, I mean formed within that triangle, right? So then again lower high formed over there, then again lower high formed over there. All right, and every time when price was coming back to close to that top, it was struggling, right? So struggling there, and then finally bang, we got a breakout and the trend started to merge over there. So we might be, we may see again that triangle for upside. Okay, so the point here is that every time when you see that the dip is coming, okay, so there going to be a buy opportunity very much similar like that. All right, so I'm going to look at the current price right now. Okay, so there we can see that the price is on this daily time frame is trying to continue its trend. Okay, we saw how many days we saw a sell off? 1, all right, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, so 7 days we were in a bearish trend, or you can look at the weekly time frame as well. And then we started to build up the trend again. Okay, we can see there the sellers were getting weaker over there. Okay, we saw aggressive sell-off over there 2 days, and third day price started to struggle again far further downside, right? And then we got a buying pressure over there again, and the price is there is a chance that tomorrow during the non-farm payroll we can see price to retest that top or continue to even break above that top and hit that all-time high as well. All right, so the reason we are having this sell-off, we can say that the government came out from shutdown. US government caused that drop to happen. So yeah, trend is again emerging, trying to emerge over there. Okay, if I'm gonna look at if I'll compare that with other charts, all right, other charts. Yeah, we were expecting that. Yes, we were expecting that, and it to hit that. So we got a breakout here at this area, at that. But again, we saw price started to struggle. So we wanted gold to hit that top. So this chart, okay. So there we can understand something, that what's happening across the market. I'm gonna look at these charts one by one. So let's remove that. All right, let's remove that. So it's something there for you to learn as well. So that top, that low, all right, so fib lines. Okay, so we can see there that the gold hit that 70. Okay, retracement of that bearish trend hit that 70. Gold against the dollar is running at, right, so 30, 45, we can say there, right? So 45 at this area, gold against the dollar. Just keeping that in mind, all right? So below that 30, below 50%, slightly below 50% and above 40%, all right? We're running over there. So gold is running over there. So on this chart, you're going to see the difference, all right? When I'm going to look at these charts, these 8 charts one by one, so you're going to realize something, that what's happening here. All right, so that top and this low, simple, you are just looking at the high lows or trying to find the support and resistance here on this chart. All right, so and if I'm gonna log that, all right, so I'm gonna draw a couple of more arrows here, more lines, trend lines. Okay, we can see there that the price dropped here to here, all right, and we saw a correction over there, and then we saw the breakout. Okay, and then again we saw a sell-off and we saw a wedge over there. All right, this is a signal that the sellers were this formation. I mean, if you understand these patterns, all right, you understand that what's going to happen. All right, what's the next move. All right, so I'm just gonna try to give you a little hint that about those patterns. We saw a sell-off. Okay, price started to struggle here, wasn't breaking out. Okay, we saw a sell-off, then again rebound. Okay, a kind of flag over there appeared over there, then it broke out and then test that low, and then we saw a sharp impulse, sharp pullback. All right, price went up, started to struggle over there. Okay, we saw floor. I have videos over there. Okay, videos on my channel. So then again we held that floor, right? So candles are telling you that how price is behaving, who's in control. All right, so these candles, their shape, their size is telling you that who is in control. Either sellers are in control or buyers are in control. All right, so you can see there that the size of these red candles started to shrink, started to get smaller. Before that, the size of the candles were so big over there. All right, and big over here as well. Okay, but here and here they started to get smaller. Means that the sellers are struggling. They're struggling to push price more lower. Okay, while the green candle started to get bigger. Right, green candle started to get bigger. So there you can see that the red candles are very small, a kind of flag, all right, or triangle. If you draw it like that, so triangle was forming over there. Again, breakout. All right, so breakout, next impulse. Okay, so sideways flag. All right, and then breakout. Okay, again, bigger candles appear over there, right, and bigger candle appear over there. Price started to struggle over there for further downside. Small candles, all right, so red candles, and again you saw a bounce off. So this price behavior is telling you that the sellers are struggling, all right, the sellers are struggling, all right, and buyers are trying to find their floor and trying to gain for momentum for upside. Okay, so this formation was telling us that sellers are done, all right, and they are trying to break up. Buyers are trying to break up, all right. That's why this chart, again, this wedge formation, right? So formation, we were expecting this formation to break out, right? This there were sellers were exactly struggling over there, right? And then we got a breakout. So yeah, so let's get back to that. All right, that you can understand that what's happening. So what's happening here, right? So the point, so my point here is that the gold, all right, so we're going to look at the other charts. The gold, it's still very much weak. Gold is still very much weak against the dollar, or we can say that the dollar is still very strong against the rest of the market. All right, dollar is still strong, which is causing gold to stay lower against the dollar. All right, so if I'm going to look at another pair, all right, so if I'm going to look at this chart, so that's a bigger time frame, 4-hour time frame. All right, so I'm going to look at this, okay, and I'm going to remove everything and we'll apply fib lines. So let's just find that top and bottom. So top, bottom, all right, and within that we found that top and this low. And if I'm gonna pull out the fib lines, right, the fib lines from that top to this top, or let's say this top, right, this top to this low, so we can clearly see that it's running very well above that 70%. All right, the gold against the yen is running very well against higher against the yen. All right, so where the gold was running against the dollar, right, so below 50%, somewhere here at this area, this much gap is over there, this much gap is over there. Yeah, so you're gonna see that now. You understand that what I'm trying to say. This is telling us that the gold is still strong, or gold is very strong against the other currencies, while gold is weaker against the dollar, or the dollar is strong right now, right? You can say that way. Okay, if I'm going to draw trend lines, right? So you see there the shape of that trend line is telling us a different story here, right? The shape of that trend line is telling us a very, very different story. All right, so you're going to draw that like that. All right, so this is telling us a very different story. So if I'm going to go to the lower time frame, or the wedge, okay, the wedge which we saw on gold against the dollar, okay, this wedge, right? So gold against the dollar is struggling at that place, right? While gold against the yen has broken out and heading towards, trying to remove these losses. All right, trying to remove these losses and heading towards that high. Okay, so let's get back to I mean, gold is very strong against the yen, okay? And is a sign that the gold also going to take up against the others as well. So for our time frame, so we are very much close to that. I mean, close to that top. We are just about to remove all those losses, the losses which we had over there on gold from this top. Okay, so we are heading towards that high, and higher high is forming, higher low is forming over there. Higher low is forming over there, and we are about to run towards that top. Okay, so let's get back to the yeah. So I don't think so I need to look at the others. All right, so you understand that what's happening. So I'm gonna yeah, so look at this chart. Right, the line chart is here. Okay, this is telling the rest of the story. Okay, this is telling us now the rest of the story. I just gave you the two chart analysis, like the gold is strong against the yen and gold is weak against the dollar. Okay, so gold is running very well close to that top against the yen. Okay, while gold is running, I mean, below or I mean, this much is the difference. Yeah, this much is the difference. This is the gap. So we are heading again. So what is the story here? Okay, what is the story? The story is very much simple. All right, gold is rising. Gold is rising against the yen, while gold is struggling against the dollar. Okay, or you can simply say that the dollar is strong right now. Okay, so what if dollar gonna get weaker? So what's gonna happen then? What gold gonna do? All right, if dollar gets weaker, okay, right now, then what's gonna happen against the gold? What gold gonna do? All right, so gold aggressively gonna catch up against the dollar, other pairs. All right, so gold quickly gonna catch up the other pairs, and gonna climb back to the top. Okay, and at some point we're gonna see dollar gonna correct. All right, dollar gonna correct means, you know, dollar is, by the way, is not going to fall for a big move at the moment. So we're expecting dollar to stay strong and continue to keep rising, but we may see pullback on dollar at some point. I will explain that later on, what dollar can do. So there is you know so much talk that the dollar can get weaker, but not that much drop we can expect on the dollar, right? The dollar only gonna get stronger from here. There are so many reasons. All right, the major reason is that Fed is not that much hawkish the way market was expecting Fed to be dovish. Sorry, all right, Fed to be dovish. Fed is hawkish, all right, and that's causing dollar to stay strong for a while. And if we look at the other central banks, all right, they are more dovish as compared to the Fed. All right, look at the ECB saying right now that there is a risk on the, you know, inflation for the downside, means that more rate cuts from the ECB obviously going to drive the euro lower. And look at the yen. What's happening with the yen? Yen is struggling badly, all right, which is causing the gold to stay stronger against the yen, and having this gap over there. So hopefully you understand that now. All right, so yeah, so if I'm gonna pull out US XAU JPY on this chart, so we can see here that which chart is where the yen and the gold chart against the yen is running, yeah, very well close to that all-time high, and big gap over here at this area. All right, so if we're gonna look at the yen, all right, so how yen is doing really badly against these currencies. Yeah, so there is just rising. The chief is just rising against the yen, causing yen to stay weaker. Yeah, so rising, all right, so rising. So dollar is also catching up. Dollar is also, this is the most important chart, which is going to tell you that where the the dollar is going to go for next couple of weeks to months. All right. Okay, this is the important chart where the dollar, we were expecting this to you can get these charts from my Telegram. Yeah, I have posted these charts over there. We were expecting this to catch up. Right? I will post again after, you know, looking at these charts. Right? We were expecting dollar yen to go all the way back to that high. Right? So we are heading towards that high now. This is actually showing the strength on dollar, okay? And weaknesses on the yen. Yen is getting weaker. Yeah, but dollar is gaining. Dollar is very, very strong against the yen. Okay, but dollar is not very, very strong against the rest of the market yet, all right? So that's the point. So dollar has to gain over time against the others, all right? But pullback is possible. Pullback is possible. We are already having pullback. And pullback is possible, but the longer term trend is I mean, if we see that the dollar yen hit that, which is very likely that the dollar yen gonna take out that top, okay, as the yen is weaker against other currencies, means that we may see euro can fall towards $1 again. All right, euro can visit the lows again. Euro can go to $1. All right, euro can go to $1. Okay, if I'm gonna pull out the euro chart on EURUSD. Again, simply we need to invert that chart. Okay, so there we can see that the euro is still very strong against the dollar. Where we are sitting on the euro at that floor. Yeah, at this floor. Okay, look at this. Both started the move right from there. All right, and dollar went up against the yen. Okay, but euro is still strong against the dollar. Okay, this is going to be the move in next couple of 5 to 6 months. We're going to see that move. All right, we're going to see that move. So this is why, you know, we're not going to see a big drop on dollar. So dollar is gaining, all right, and dollar going to keep gaining for next couple of next couple of quarters. We can say that 1 or 2 quarters you're going to see that the dollar going to catch up. So this is the, yeah, this is, let me find that from another chart if I'll get that. Okay, so yeah, you see that this is the chart which I shared before on the Telegram chart. Okay, you see that this is happening now. So let me try to find that chart from Telegram. I'll get that. If you understand these charts, then you will be able to understand the next move. All right, let me find that if I'll get that Telegram chart. Yeah, it's a very big move. Very big move, all right, which is just happening over there. So where is the dollar right now? The dollar is running. The dollar here is the dollar. Okay, so the blue chart, the yellow, sorry. So the yellow is a dollar yen. Yellow is a dollar yen. So let me quickly find that. Hopefully that chart not going to be that much far away. Okay, so I guess this is the inverted, all right? So when we were expecting dollar to fall, dollar yen was 175, and we saw this is very old, all right? Not too old. Okay, but when we were expecting dollar to fall against the euro or against the yen or older, so we saw that move and then bang. You know, this is a bit more old, so yeah, so then dollar yen started to catch up the others. This is the story right now. Dollar yen started to catch up the other yen pairs. So basically, that's a bit more old. I have posted that chart. I don't remember. But the story is very much similar like this, okay? See that? So Kiwi fallen against the yen and dollar wasn't. Let me make it bigger if I can. All right, so there. Kiwi fallen against that floor, okay, and then dollar was strong. So basically this chart was showing that the dollar was strong, all right? Dollar was strong against the yen, okay, at 157, okay, while others were falling against the yen, okay. So stronger dollar obviously gonna push the others lower, all right, okay. So obviously others gonna fall when dollar is strong. But when others are down, then obviously the next move is going to be that they're going to go higher, all right, and dollar going to go lower, all right? All right? So not sure if you get that or not, but this is a very, very interesting thing, all right? Very interesting thing. So, all right, so next chart, all right, next chart. So started to fall, dollar started to fall, okay, and started to catch up. And similarly, we saw, I mean, the chart which I was trying to find out when I was saying that chief was, you know, breaking that top, was broken this top, yeah, so chief against the yen went higher. So the dollar started to gain. Now dollar is just catching up those yen pairs, okay? What that means is dollar hasn't got stronger against the others. That's the point, all right? Very interesting point. Now if we're going to look at the dollar pairs now, if we're going to find the dollar pairs, all right, dollar index. Dollar, gold and dollar. Just a second, let me find from here. There you go, I do have that here. Okay, so now you can see there this chart. Okay, this is a, let's look at the weekly, what weekly is showing. If we go look at this, and there you can see, okay, where what you are having here, the New Zealand dollar is weaker against the dollar. Okay, I mean this is inverted chart, maybe you're gonna get confused. This is basically inverted chart, right, telling the story. This is inverted chart, all right, this is inverted chart. So this is when this goes higher, means that the dollar is gaining, dollar is getting stronger, so don't get confused with that. So New Zealand dollar has fallen, or the dollar is very strong against the New Zealand dollar, and then the dollar is very strong against the chief, okay, but others are still struggling, okay. The chart which is more struggling is the euro. Euro is still very strong, sitting over there at that floor, so euro has to get weaker, all right. Euro has to get weaker against the dollar, and has to catch up the other. So this is the bigger picture, all right. Hopefully you understand that now, that the dollar is not going to get weaker, okay, as market is expecting that the dollar going to get weaker or bigger, or blah blah blah, yeah. So that's not going to happen. So we saw that the dollar can correct, all right, but for next 3 to 6 months, dollar going to stay stronger and going to continue to keep rising. So the best pair you can trade on pullbacks is just keep selling the euro on pullbacks, all right. Keep selling the euro on pullback, and you can get that the euro can visit the lows $1 mark, all right. So the point here is that we were talking about the gold, all right. So now you understand that why we may not see the weaknesses on the dollar, right, and euro might have done a big move to the downside. If I'm going to invert that chart now, right, I'm going to invert that, okay. So where are you supposed to be looking the opportunities is the euro. So when euro goes higher, you start looking it to sell. Very much similar move you are experiencing over there on the dollar against the yen. So this is a longer term opportunity, which is I'm showing over there, all right? And if I'm gonna look at the gold now, all right? So if I'm gonna look at the gold now, so gold is basically gonna remain bullish, all right? Okay, that's the reason you see that the chart which I have just shown you now, right? This chart, okay, the index one, this chart. That's why you see there the difference. You see that the dollar is strong against the gold because dollar is already strong, getting strong against the others. So gold is struggling against the dollar, all right? And while gold is gaining against the others like yen, all right, like the New Zealand dollar against the yen. So gold is gaining against the New Zealand dollar means that everything is not right with the equities. So the risk on assets are struggling, right? And is a sign that the gold also gonna catch up. Gold gonna start playing as a safety against the others. Okay, so that's a bigger picture for longer term. So we'll come to the lower time frame as well. So now you understand that what's happening. Gold is struggling against the dollar because the dollar is strong. So eventually, when we're gonna see the pullback on the dollar, okay, you're gonna see that this is gonna catch up and gonna claim that all-time high, all right? And again, gold against the Australian dollar as well, right? So if I'm gonna pull out the fib lines, very much similar analysis which I have just made earlier. Okay, let me look at the lower time frame and then. All right, and then okay, so before going to look at the gold, okay, before going to look at the gold, I mean, before you just come and start buying the gold, it's not gonna work that way. You need to understand the others, what happening with the other assets, right, before you start trading on the gold. All right, so I can show you that just go and start looking for a buy. It's not gonna work, all right, for you. So you need to understand the rest of the market as well. I mean, this is correcting, okay, and just buy and it will break out. No, that's not going to happen. So you need to understand the rest of the market. What is weighing on the whole market is the Bitcoin. Okay, Bitcoin is struggling simply, right? Bitcoin is not rising; it is struggling. We are expecting it to find a floor over there. Buyers are just building over there. It can just pump aggressively for upside. So 90 K is a floor at the moment. Okay, so we are expecting it to pop up, but Bitcoin is struggling, right? And hence the gold is struggling too. It's a dollar, right? So when Bitcoin goes down, dollar goes up, right? When dollar goes up, dollar obviously has to go up against the others. So Bitcoin weaknesses is weighing on gold as well. All right, so theoretically, when equities goes down, equities fall, right? When risk on asset falls, gold goes higher. But that's not happening over here at the moment, all right? Because we are having valuation issue. So there is so much talk going on that the valuation is so much high, right? Which is putting impact on everything, not just on the gold, all right? So it is affecting on the Bitcoin, affecting on the equities, and just dollar gaining, all right? Just dollar is getting strong, so affecting on everything. So AI bubble, yeah, you have heard so much about that AI bubble. Okay, so if I'm gonna pull out the gold here, right? So yeah, gold here, so we can see there that the sell-off we got on the Bitcoin, all right, at this area brought down the gold as well at this area. If I'm gonna look at exact date analysis, all right, so look at this chart. Okay, so Bitcoin dropped. We saw a sell-off on the Bitcoin, and we saw a sell-off on the gold as well. Gold went lower, so we saw some strength on the Bitcoin. All right, Bitcoin stabilizes, right, and we saw that the gold started to rise. Okay, hopefully you understand my point now. So if you come and buy gold and expect that gold gonna keep rising, may not work. All right, well, you need to understand what's happening in the rest of the market. All right, the rest of the market is struggling, so risk on assets are struggling. We are having valuation issue right now. All right, that's why the equities are down, Bitcoin is down, yeah, and the tech stock is also struggling, so causing gold to rise, but headwind is over there on the gold, right? Headwind is over there on the gold. So Gold gonna climb back up once we're gonna see that these risk on assets are stabilizing, right? Gold gonna go back up quickly for upside. So you have to keep eyes what's happening here on these charts, all right? Okay, so Bitcoin brought down down the risk on assets as well. Sounds like a complicated things for you, yeah? Maybe you start scratching your head that what this guy is talking about. We are not getting. Look at this chart, and then blah blah blah. Yeah, so going over through your head, yeah. But that's how market moves, guys. If one asset moves, you're gonna see that the others also gonna get affected. Yeah, because they are highly correlated to each other. So if I'm gonna look at the Nasdaq 100 index, all right, so we were expecting one more leg lower when we saw that the Bitcoin dropped over the weekend. We were expecting one more leg lower on the indices. All right, so a slight lag can be seen over there. Okay, so Bitcoin went lower, and we saw that the equities started to go down too. Now we are expecting equities to go back up. We'll look at that too. But the point here is that if these risk on assets going to stay under pressure, all right, we may see, you know, sell off on gold as well. So you have to keep in your mind that as well when you're buying gold for upside at current price on lower time frame as well. We may see, you know, I mean, drop as well on gold. I'm not anticipating that right now. Okay, I'm anticipating that the risk on assets going to bounce off. All right, and gonna end well at the end of this week. All right, we're gonna have you know, risk on closing of you know, of this week. So which means that the trend can sustain after the NFP numbers. All right, the bullish trend can sustain on all assets, risk on assets and gold, and dollar can slightly drag lower. So that's the point here. Okay, so 15-minute time frame. All right, so this correction is just building over there. Now you can see things a bit more better from bigger picture to a smaller picture and competitive analysis as well. Okay, so we are expecting this trend to stay intact. All right, let me find out a 15-minute chart of that now. All right, so just a second. Okay, so here on this chart, okay, what you are looking on this lower time frame. All right, so we are expecting this to break out simply. All right, breakout, hold these lows for short term. This is the trade, okay, and for bigger time frame, I have already shown you. So the short term, and stay above the moving averages and stay intact the trend. Okay, this is where you are expecting it to hold the trend. All right, that's your lower time frame analysis. Okay, so stay trending and continue to keep breaking up. Hold the support area. Short-term trade very much similar like that. Okay, so slightly gone above. All right, slightly gone higher. Right, so like this. So if price comes there, you're expecting it to hold at these support areas. Okay, and the target gonna be that. All right, and the next move to catch up move. Okay, the catch up move where? The catch up move here. Okay, like this catch up move. All right, so the catch up move there. So up to each level. So I'm gonna look at this. So how much retracement has happened over here on gold against the yen, right? So you easily gonna get the target. Okay, up to which target you should expect it to hit at least. Okay, so 70, 61. Okay, so you're expecting it to go 41.50 target. Right, 41.50 target for the next move. Okay, so 41.50 target gonna be over here. That's what you're expecting. All right, so it's trying to break out. Now let me find the other chart. The other chart gonna be here. All right, so this is the 15-minute time frame. Okay, 15-minute breakup is happening. and we are having this. We had a 15-minute breakup just earlier, so we had a 15-minute breakup earlier, and this breakup, right? And that breakup. Let me first correct the zoom size. Okay, so we had a breakup. This correction broke out. All right. So yeah, gold is trying to break against the yen as well, because the yen is weaker right now. Okay, trying to break up. So similarly, you're expecting gold to break against the dollar as well for upside. Okay, and these corrections. So when you're gonna see that the one of them gonna break up, you're gonna see that the other is also gonna take. Yes, and there we can see that the New Zealand dollar is struggling against the gold and trying to break through that top. And similarly, you are expecting I mean, this 15-minute to break up. So we can expect a very strong aggressive rise over here on gold after the NFP. That's what we are anticipating. Yeah, so we can see that the gold can break up aggressively. So you find your targets, you find your trade setup on this lower time frame, right? What you are looking for, what you should expect on the gold. All right, that's the gold analysis. Okay, from bigger time frame, from supply perspective, that what supply is happening, what's happening with the money supply, all right, and what's happening with the other currencies, how other currencies are doing. They're weaker, which, yeah, this chart is actually is telling you that which currency, all right, or this chart or the 4-hour time frame chart, gold, this chart. Okay, let me zoom out. So this chart is telling us that which currency is strong against the others. Okay, and which currency is weaker. This chart is telling yen is getting the hit. Okay, yen is getting the hit against everything. Yen is more weaker. All right, and the next one is the New Zealand dollar. Okay, New Zealand dollar is just coming close to back to that top, and the next one is the pound. All right, so the pound is also more weaker. So yen, New Zealand dollar, pound, all right, and then you can see that the chief is also getting weaker. All right, the chief, and then euro, then Australian dollar, and then you can see that the dollar is still strong. All right, dollar is still strong against the gold. So this whole chart is telling what's happening across the market. Okay, which currencies is behaving what. That's the gold analysis, guys. All right, so we spend so much time on just looking at this gold chart. Now we're gonna look at the others. All right, that's what you're supposed to look for. Okay, then the opportunity you are searching on the indices. So there is so much talk going on that the Nvidia, yeah. So you have seen that things on TikTok or on YouTube or in the mainstream media that this is the tech stock is forming. The AI stock is forming a bubble. Obviously, it is, not justifying that strength, all right? When you are having $5 trillion market cap, bigger than a country, then it's not justifying that, valuation. So we're gonna have earning on Nvidia, yeah. If earnings are not going to be good, then this can, drop very, very badly. So yeah, gonna be important chart. All right, Nvidia is gonna be important chart. But if I'm gonna look at the indices, yeah, we are expecting indices to go back up simply. Okay, so I'm gonna, there you go. So another thing, right? This is a gold chart. All right, maybe it's not making sense for you, but it's making very, very strong sense for me. All right, so gold getting stronger against the yen. All right, and yen is getting weaker, going higher. So yen is a safe haven currency, okay, while gold is also a safe haven currency. So yen is a safe haven currency. When yen is falling, all right, that means yen and the Nikkei index has to go back up, right? This is there going to be a buy opportunity as well here. So both are highly correlated, yen and the Nikkei index. Okay, when yen goes down, you see that the Nikkei start pushing up. You can see the Nikkei, the JP 225, you know, does really well. So we're expecting equities to go back up. Okay, buy opportunities there is forming over here on the Nikkei, on the JP 225, right? Which can let me find the targets for you. All right, so if you pull out the whole move from there to here, okay, so we have seen 61% retracement. All right, and you are expecting it to 61% retracement is here, and that's the target. Okay, and then the next target is this, and then all-time high. All right, so that's your Nikkei index. Oh, if we're gonna look at the dollar, we're gonna look at the dollar. If we're gonna look at the dollar, all right, so we're gonna look at the dollar yen. Let's find out. We look at the dollar yen, and the dollar yen is gone well above. All right, so one, let me remove this. Dollar yen is gone well above. All right, so where we saw that drop started here. The time is 1 hour here. Again, the drop started from here to here, and then we have seen that the dollar against the yen has gone well above. This is also an indication for you that we are going to see indices going to go back up or towards the all-time high. Again, this is the opportunity on the Nikkei index as well if you trade on that. So buy opportunity is forming here on Nikkei index, and the same opportunity is building over there on US indices as well. So we're expecting US indices to go back up to the all-time high. So we are having a good dip over there. All right, so US 30 dropped, decent drop. How much drop? If we're gonna look at the percentage wise, all right, so percentage is 5.20. all right, so 5.20, so 5% drop we are having on US 30. What is actually causing me to go and look for this to go back up is that the first sign we are having some dollar weaknesses or the dollar pullback here. Okay, we have seen a sell-off on the dollar, and this dollar CAD is a risk on currency, right? Commodity or risk on. So dollar dropped against the CAD. Okay, we haven't seen that move yet on the indices, so we can get back to that high easily. All right, so you're expecting this to go back up. There is so much talk going on over valuation, yeah, bubble, all right, but this is an opportunity. Okay, so you are expecting that to go back up, and you're expecting this target and that target and that target. All right, so I'm just showing you the general idea. Okay, but you are paying attention here within these lows. Okay, we still can visit these lows. A sharp breakup will continue the trend for upside. Right, so US 30 is down 5% down. All right, and we are ending the year in December. Okay, so we still can see some strength over there on indices. I'm gonna look at the Nasdaq index as well. So we dropped from that top to this low, which is more than 5%. On Nasdaq index is 7.4%. all right, so 7.4%. so let me find that drawdown chart. Yeah, so drawdown is here. So you are having a decent drawdown, almost, yeah. So 6%. All right, so yeah, 7% drawdown. So this is, it's showing you the percentage. So a nice, you know, nice opportunity, all right, to look for. All right, nice opportunity to look for. It's sitting at the floor, and let's go and look at this to draw some trend lines. Remember the last time we were expecting Nasdaq 100 index to go back up when Trump announced tariffs? All right, and there, that was the time. All right, and we saw that rally. All right, so we saw that run on the Nasdaq 100 index when Trump introduced the tariff, and now what we are having, valuation issue. All right, so much talk is going on that the valuation is so much high, and AI is forming bubble. All right, so this was more worse than the current scenario. All right, that was more worse. That was big drop. All right, yeah, so the Nasdaq 100 index stabilizes, and then we saw a continuation. So some updates were there. I posted some updates. So this area, yeah, and you saw a very good rally over there on Nasdaq 100 index then. So right now, if I'm going to pull out some moving averages, I'm going to look at the chart by moving averages and lower time frame. Moving averages are you know, for 8 hour time frame. So 12 hours, we can say that the moving averages are being tested, so are slightly priced below that. All right, so the trend is still intact. Okay, this longer term trend is still intact, and the opportunity you are looking is very much similar like that. Okay, this ABC move appeared over there, and we saw a double bottom or lower low, and then we saw that the trend held and the price started to continue. All right, this ABC move formed, okay, and then dragged lower, had broken that low, and then started to rise. Very much similar formation you are having at the current price. Okay, so if I'm gonna go to the current price, slightly not exact double top, all right, but you can say that very much similar formation or ABC move. Yeah, so their price is struggling. Okay, we had other reasons as well. All right, the other reasons which can give us a dip. Bitcoin is stabilizing. All right, we are having Nvidia earnings. If Nvidia earnings are going to be really strong, that can lift up the Nasdaq 100 index. Okay, if that's not going to lift up, Nvidia earning is not going to lift up, then there are other reasons as well. So we are having NFP data is going to be released. Or if NFP data is going to be really bad, there's going to be a huge pressure on the Fed to cut next month, all right, in December. That's also going to be a bullish story for the risk on assets. All right, what's actually, I mean, couple of reasons driving that drop, that 7% drop. AI bubble. All right, Fed is not going to cut. Fed said that they're not going to cut in December. All right, and yeah, big reasons. These are the big reasons. So yeah, if Fed is going to cut next month, that's going to be the big story. That's going to be the much bigger story than anything else. All right, that can drive this to go back up. But right now, all right, so if I'm going to look at the lower time frame, okay, so we can see there that the price is trying to find the floor. Right, it's trying to find the floor. Yesterday went lower, and then we rebounded, okay, then dropped, all right, and then again trying to find a floor over there. All right, so you're expecting these to hold, and this is your target at this high. That's target you're expecting it to hit. All right, and if it keep breaking up, all right, then go towards all-time high. So this is the New York session place you're watching in this floor to hold, and if any of the risk on assets bounce off really aggressively, going to be a sign for you to Nasdaq 100 index to continue to keep climbing as well. So that's your Nasdaq 100 index. Okay, S&P 500 is also very much similar story than that. All right, so yeah, when Trump called tariffs, we were down here, and then we rebounded and we gone back up. So all right, so we gone back up. So buy opportunity over there at that floor for short term to go back up. How much percentage that has dropped? All right, 5%. Okay, so 5% down, floor to hold. All right, so stop just behind that. All right, when you get in, look for stop. I mean, let me show you. All right, so we still can visit the lows again. All right, during the New York session, because you're trying to find the entry there and stop behind that. Okay, and if I start moving aggressively for upside, that's the target. Right, this high, this is the high, the target you're expecting. And if we get a nice jump, all right, then all the way to the all-time high, that top you're expecting. So I don't see any strong reason that the equity is going to continue to keep dragging lower, right? So I see that they're going to go back up, right? So many reasons for equities to go back up. When they go back up, they can go back up so quickly because everyone is just looking at them to trying to grab the opportunity. Okay, when last time we saw, I mean, it can move so quickly, right? We saw that strength in a couple of hours. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4 hours. We saw that bounce off and S&P 500 went close back to that high, all-time high. Okay, so that can happen again. It can bounce off. You may not gonna get enough time to join that, so you have to keep really close eyes on the floor on the bottom to join the dip. All right, so you have to watch. You have to closely watch that, and you need to watch these assets, these three dips. So US Russell 3000 is also same, but I will ignore that. Right, that's your indices. Okay, 3 US indices are setting up for a buy opportunity. You're looking for the dip is there. Okay, you're looking for the floor is there. You are trying to grab the entry at a good price and good stop placement, and looking for this to go back up. All right, okay, these 3 charts. So good opportunity, I mean good setup is very much same like gold, guys. If you miss the trade on gold, okay, you still can catch up here. This is what we are simply expecting, same move to appear over there. Okay, if I'm going to remove that, all right, and we'll look at this. So this the just copy paste move to appear over there. Okay, and can happen at any time during the New York session. Okay, we saw a sell-off here. We saw a sell-off from there. Okay, we saw a sell-off there. We saw a sell-off. Okay, gold found floor. Okay, gold go back up. Okay, equities are trying to find a floor over there at this area. Okay, we are expecting this move, this copy paste move to appear over there, right? What is the correlation behind this? Okay, the correlation is that the dollars, this much dollar weakness is appearing over there on the, against the gold. Gold got stronger against the dollar. Okay, this much strength came. Gold. Okay, but dollar hasn't fallen yet. This move hasn't appeared over there. Dollar hasn't fallen yet against the indices. When dollar goes higher, all right, you see that the indices go down. Yeah, so opposite correlation. These assets having opposite correlation. All right, so dollar still has to, this move has to appear over there on the indices. So you are expecting this to appear over there, that move. Okay, if you miss the floor here on the gold, traditionally, okay, what is being said that gold goes higher then when there is a uncertainty into the market. Yeah, gold is a safe haven. Okay, but it might be all right. You can, I'm having different opinion. Yeah, my opinion is that as long as money supply keep rising, money supply, the earlier chart which I have just shown you, if money supply keep rising, all right, you're going to see that the equities will keep rising and gold will keep rising too. So rising money supply means you are adding more money supply into the system. You are printing more dollars. All right, when you're printing more dollars, all right, gold has to go higher against those dollars. All right, when those dollars come into the system, gold needs to rise. Okay, when those more dollars come in, then equities needs to go higher. Yeah, so we can see rotation based on the uncertainty into the market. Yeah, I mean, who goes higher first or lower first? Yeah, rotation of the funds, all right, rotation of the capital from one asset to other assets, okay. But this is clearly telling us that what you are expecting, all right, you're expecting this copy paste move to, let me, right, so okay, so very much similar move started here. All right, so this, okay, how to figure it out that you know, when this, okay, this started to fall from here. All right, so there, okay, exactly. So gold, a slight you know, slight lag over there was on gold, okay, but it could, S&P 500 went down first. Okay, so both started, let me exactly find exact place, right, this place. Okay, that day, that time, you can see over there. So Thursday 13th of November, Thursday 13th of November, we were at that top. Okay, then what happened? Bang, dropped. Okay, dropped. Okay, if I'm gonna pull out, easy way to understand, easy way to figure it out, that what is ahead. Okay, which one is ahead and which one is behind. Okay, you find that top and you find that floor. Get that top and that floor. And the next step is to just find out your fib lines. Okay, so we have seen retracement here, more than close to 50%. All right, close to 50% gold retrace move started from there. All right, very much similar formation as well. All right, this formation, very much similar formation. Okay, then pull back, and then gold also pull back. All right, and then gold and equities both dropped. Again, equities trying to find a floor, gold found a floor or this. Okay, find its, you know, bottom over there, and gold started to rise. Okay, now we're expecting that move. Okay, at least take that top, this top. All right, this top, the top gold taken out. Okay, so equities to take that top out, this top, this target I've shown you, and in best case scenario take that. If gold, we see that, I mean, gold keep climbing. Yeah, so you're gonna get that. I'm gonna take out that top too. Yeah, so easily you can understand that what has happened over there and what is happening right now and what you're expecting right next. Yeah, okay, so equities too, this is S&P 500. Yeah, others are same too. I'm spending more time on equities because equities are a good opportunity right now to watch. Okay, so other assets, other charts. Okay, what other charts? So Bitcoin. Yeah, let's look at the. Okay, so currencies. Okay, so currencies to continue to keep rising. Yeah, so yeah, eventually we're gonna see drop over there, but see there, if I'm gonna invert that chart and gonna invert the and gonna open the euro dollar chart as well next to it, you're gonna see what my point is. Okay, so we are heading down. And before you look at that chart, you need to look at the dollar yen, guys. All right, then you can come onto those currencies. Okay, we are taking out this low, this we're heading towards that Friday 10th of January 2025 top on the dollar yen. All right, but we are still far away from that top against the dollar yen. All right, so we are still expecting this to catch up. So gone very much, you know, ahead. The dollar CAD has gone very much ahead. Yeah, running at 38%, while the the dollar against the yen is running at 88% of the fib lines. All right, so if I'm going to pull out the euro chart now, okay, euro chart invert, it's much behind that. All right, so very well behind that. So okay, so where is the 38% retracement? At there, close to 104. Right, in 104. So we may see this price. Okay, we may see that price. So, and dollar CAD to keep heading towards this area, right? So 145, and euro to head towards that 104. So these are clear charts, all right? So giving you the opportunities, and the market was expecting that they're going to be a 120, you know, 120 price going to hit the 120. All right, so we were expecting that one more bullish leg on the euro, and then we were expecting sell-off opportunities over there. We got a good sell opportunities over there, and since then the euro is going down. I'm not sure if I have updated that chart. No, I haven't updated that chart, but we do have those we do have those updates there. So clear picture, dollar is very, very strong against the yen, but dollar hasn't got strength against the others. All right, so you are expecting this is very much gone, all right, but still can continue to keep climbing higher. And on the euro, you are expecting every pullback you see that you're expecting it to pull back up, you're expecting it to go down. So I'm gonna draw a trend line over there, and all right, so this is the big move you're expecting. All right, this is the move we are looking at. Okay, on this we are still expecting another leg higher. Okay, that leg can go back up to that top, this top, right? So we were expecting buy opportunities on the euro here at these areas. All right, we're expecting buy opportunities there. Right, these opportunities, so it played well, this opportunity, then this next played well, then we were expecting sell opportunities there. So I do have these charts into my group, yeah. So maybe, I mean, you're saying that what he's talking about, but this is the opportunities we had, right? And then we were expecting sell opportunities from there. So we can see a push up this much push up on the euro, and then again drop, right? And then, I mean, we can stay here within this price for a while from, I mean, 116.60. So you still can expect that to hold and sell. Look for sell opportunities every time, and you see that the 116.60 or 116.50 is coming. Okay, but for short term, this, I mean, so much comparison. All right, you need to do so much comparison. Okay, you clearly can see there your gold chart is ahead now. Okay, so you gotta drop, and you gotta move back up on gold. Okay, and then similar move you're expecting on the, right, and then drop and drop again, similar move back up this much. It's already, a couple of short-term buy opportunities has given up, right, and test that top short-term buy opportunity from these lows. That's a bigger picture and lower time frame picture. Okay, and you're searching sell opportunities from there within these areas for longer term to the downside. The bullish picture on euro is done. People were expecting 120, 125, 30, blah blah blah. Yeah, it's not coming. That's not coming. All right, so pound also started to fall. Right, pound also started to fall. Yeah, so we may see that the pound can visit that high again. All right, so we can visit that high again and then can struggle there. Same story, guys. I don't think I need to talk too much to that story. Okay, we are in a bullish trend on the dollar. Okay, and we might see that low again. All right, and yeah, if I'm gonna pull out the dollar yen chart again, USD JPY, so you may see that continuation to the downside. You see there? That's your lead, that the dollar is strong against the yen. All right, and we may see drop towards that 121 area. Okay, and this top to hold and trend to continue to keep dragging lower. That's it. Okay, Bitcoin. All right, so Bitcoin is causing the problem for some people. All right, so many big players, they are trying to convince, coming onto the TV, trying to convince the people, retail traders, buy Bitcoin for them. All right, it's a time to buy. Yeah, that they're trying to convince people, is they are invested, fully invested, heavily invested, and they don't want to see this to go down, and they want desperately this to go higher. They want desperately Bitcoin to go higher, because they have invested billions of dollars already into the Bitcoin, and you know that when it falls very, very badly, all right, and can wipe out so many people, you know, from the market. They are trying to convince people buy Bitcoin, and they are I mean, they are right. Okay, and they are perfectly right. Okay, there is so much going on behind that picture, so much going on, okay, which we're gonna understand that after a couple of years. We're not gonna know that now. We're gonna understand that after a couple of years. Okay, recently you have heard that USA passed law for stable coins. You can have stable coins. Why they are bringing stable coins? Why they are not bringing their own digital currency, digital dollar, very much similar like the Chinese yuan. Chinese yuan is a digital yuan, all right? Okay, so why USA is bringing stable coins? Why America is bringing stable coins, asking people to have their own private stable coins and put money into it? Why not they are creating their own digital dollar? They started that, their pilot project for digital dollar, okay, but they backed off. Why they are not, big question, okay, why they are not having their own digital dollar, okay, and why China is having their digital yuan, all right? And the other thing is that, okay, the story behind this, okay, which gonna cover, which gonna overcome, which we're gonna see after a couple of years. You're not gonna see that anytime soon. Okay, this story gonna unfold after a couple of, maybe 1 year, 2 years, all right? But this is definitely gonna unfold, all right? So we are having $38 trillion debt in the US, all right? And there is so much talk is going on that, the debt definitely going to grow, okay? Debt is economy, okay? Simply, the higher the debt goes, okay, you're going to see higher the equities and all those asset valuation, higher valuation you're going to see, okay? Higher debt, higher valuation, okay? So actually, the demand of the US Treasury is falling, right? That's the concern. The Chinese are not less interested in the US Treasuries just because of this debt, or I mean, overall globally the demand of the Treasuries is falling, all right? Which means if you are not buying, if someone is not buying your Treasuries, so what you're gonna do? How are you gonna finance your government? All right, so how are you gonna run your operations, government operations? How are you gonna run that if you don't have, if no one is funding you? All right, yes, there is the ultimate funder is the Fed. If no one is buying US Treasuries, okay, then the Fed gonna buy, they're gonna fund the Treasury, all right? That's the ultimate solution, and that's what we are happening right now in the Japan, okay? Bank of Japan is buying Treasuries, all right? Japanese Treasuries and Japanese bond and funding government, and government is just running operations. So this is the path where the US is going on, all right? But the Treasury demand is falling just because of higher debt, all right? So stable coin is a way to create a demand for Treasuries or dollar, okay? Is a way. So right now that is 300 billion total market cap. Okay, they're having $300 billion market cap of stable coins, which is very, very small. Okay, very, very small as with compared to the others. All right, if you're having more, more stable coins and more dollar are parked into the stable coins, means that there is more demand. All right, more demand. So what BRICS countries are doing, they are trying to find their own way to trade. All right, and bypass the dollar. All right, if they bypass the dollar, all right, then you have to do something to create the dollar demand. All right, so Bitcoin, so the stable coins is a way to create a dollar demand. All right, or treasuries demand, where you can park billions of dollars in stable coins. All right, and can create that artificial demand. All right, and can sell your treasuries, can print more dollars. All right, and can fund your government. So this story gonna unfold after a couple of years. All right, as long as you're gonna see that the stable coin total market cap gonna keep rising. All right, gonna be good for the Fed, for the treasuries. All right, for the US government. They are actually trying to create demand for their dollar, for their treasuries. All right, rather than creating their own digital dollar. All right, if you have a digital dollar, all right, so story not going to be very much similar like this. All right, I mean, when individuals can have dollars and park that dollars into the stable coins, or can buy US treasuries, all right, can get paid on that US treasuries, all right, while the holders who are holding that dollar into the treasuries not going to get anything. All right, so they're gonna invest somewhere. I mean, people who are holding their billions of dollars in stable coins, they're gonna invest those stable coins at somewhere. Okay, so this is the bigger picture which is just running behind that. Okay, and what is the impact of that stable coin total market cap on Bitcoin and other coins? All right, so every time when we saw that the total market cap grown up of stable coins, okay, we saw the strength on the Bitcoin went up. All right, that park money went somewhere. The stablecoin, money, people who are parking money in the stable coins, that money being invested somewhere. All right, and Bitcoin has got benefit of that. All right, so based on this analysis, based on these thoughts, I'm expecting that the higher the total market cap gonna be of these stable coins, we're gonna see that the Bitcoin gonna perform really well and gonna continue to keep climbing higher. Okay, so yeah, it's a dip. Okay, dip is it's really hard to time the floor. All right, when there is so much pressure in the market, you never know where is the floor. All right, you try to catch the floor, okay, but price keeps sliding lower. All right, if you are a longer term investor, you can buy or forget and let the market do what it does. All right, but if you are trader or are looking opportunities for short term and looking to maximize that potential for over time, all right, then it's really difficult to catch the floor. You never know that where is the floor. Okay, so we are falling on the Bitcoin. Okay, but this is the bigger picture. Okay, the bigger picture, which I just said, that this more stable coins coming, more money is coming into the stable coins. All right, trying to offset the Chinese yuan, digital Chinese yuan demand. Okay, that gonna get some benefit from the stable coins, Bitcoin. Okay, Bitcoin gonna get some benefit from that and gonna continue to keep climbing higher. All right, so my projection is 150K. Okay, my projection for the Bitcoin is to hit the 150K, and we'll see how high it goes after that. All right, so previously when it was hitting at that 75, shown that chart. Okay, so we clearly can see that the sellers are struggling. Okay, buyers started to build over there on this daily time frame, and obviously you can see that the big players are also convincing you that they buy the Bitcoin. All right, so if you're Bitcoin buyers, okay, it's a time to grab some Bitcoins. And if you're trading on leverage on Bitcoin, all right, so it's really risky at the moment because spike can happen. I mean, sharp drop can happen and can wipe you out. And yeah, you can buy again on lower price, at a good price. Yeah. So 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 okay, so the good thing is that to how to find a floor. Okay, how to find a floor. Let me, how you can find a floor. Okay, let me, okay, the day before we're expecting, I was expecting Bitcoin to find a floor over here again, because there was so much demand at this area. So much buyers were coming in, they bought. Okay, we saw that correction and broke out. Again, seller came over there. Yeah, it was clear that it wasn't going to continue because seller started to jump in, and then we saw that continuation to the downside. All right, so this chart, is, if I'm gonna look at this, okay, this is order book. Okay, so you can see the order book easily, guys. And okay, so what's happening here? Right, so if anyone buy Bitcoin at the current price, yeah, so quickly they're gonna the big players buy, you're gonna see spike over there. But the order book is giving you a very good clue that what's happening, who is in control, right? Either we're gonna see floor here at the 90k and gonna reverse from 90k and towards all-time high, or we're gonna see drop, further drop, right? The order book gonna tell you that what's happening there. Okay, where's buyer sitting? So sometimes there is spoofing as well, right? So what is spoofing? Okay, usually you're gonna see that clearly. You're gonna see that, all right? So you're gonna see spoofing. So what is spoofing? That what buyer does, all right? Buyer and sellers, they do. Okay, or the bots, what bot they do. Okay, they place the buy and sell orders. In my opinion, they $100 away, right? So $100 away from current price, buy and sell. $100 away, you're gonna see that the big buyers, I mean, if you're gonna see that the trend is bearish, okay, the trend is bearish, the trend is falling, the trend is bearish, okay, like that, the trend is bearish, okay, and there you see that some big buyers are coming in, all right? So like we are having sellers right now, okay, the sell trend is intact, okay? So when you're gonna see that some buyers gonna buy and price gonna bounce off and gonna start trying to find a floor, okay, you're gonna see spoofings, you're gonna see fake sellers from the current price, like $100 away from the current price, very you know, quickly. That gonna happen so quickly, you may not realize with the naked eye, all right, naked eye, or because these are bots, they can do transactions, they can place orders in milliseconds and they can cancel that in milliseconds, and you may not realize that. But if you're experienced, you know that what's happening, then you can understand that what's happening, what they are, I mean, where they are trying to influence the price, which way they want price to go. Okay, that's what spoofing is, all right? They try to influence the price. Okay, if spoofers are coming, actual sellers are not coming, okay, they want price to continue trending lower. They don't want price to rise. Okay, so you're gonna see that they're gonna place pending orders $100 away or $150 away from the current. You see there, it's sitting, the 40 coins, 42 coins sitting over there at 500, 91.50 or 500, all right? They're sitting over there. You may say that this is, you know, even price, that's why they are, you know, selling over there, but that's not the case, all right? So you're gonna see quickly they're gonna run away when price gonna go towards that 500, all right? This is the tape, all right, the transaction which are happening over there, clearly what time, how many coins, What was the price? Okay, this is telling that. So they're gonna run away. They're not gonna, you know, actually trigger the trade. They're not gonna get into the market. They're gonna run away, right? But they're sitting over there at 91.50, trying to influence the price for further downside. Okay, this can tell you that what is happening, who is trying to control the direction of the price. Either they're trying to control the price for downside, sellers are trying to control the price, or buyers are trying to control the price. Okay, so we saw big buyers over there at this place. All right, so if I'm gonna this 15-minute time frame, okay, it's at 90k. We saw decent buying over there. You saw decent buying over there. Big players, I mean, really big buying came over there at this area, okay, which reversed the trend, right? But again, spoofers or sellers, they started to come. Oh, sorry, that's a 3-minute. No, sorry, this is not. This is wrong. The 15-minute time frame is supposed to be a 15-minute time frame. Yeah. Here, okay, I was looking at the wrong chart. Right there. 90, yeah, this is the 90k at this area. Okay, so you can see some wicks appeared over there. Yeah, so wicks appeared over there, and on you can see that on the volume chart as well. Right, and volume chart is also showing you that the buyers were coming in at this area. So some decent buyers came in. All right, so they reversed the price. All right, correction again, decent buyers came in, volume was up. Okay, but again, spoofers and sellers, they started to appear over there on the order book. Okay, and they drag the price lower again. Okay, and volume is dropping, means that buyers are coming in, all right, but not that much strong. So this can give you a hint that what is happening over there, who is trying to control the price in which way. All right, so is it the bottom? Is it the 90k floor? All right, okay, that's the question is it the 90k floor for longer term? That's the question. Okay, yeah, so we can get we can get the idea from this order book can tell us that what's happening over there. Okay, we can see there still on the order book. All right, so buyers are coming, but sellers are matching with the buyers. Okay, means that sellers are still in control. Okay, you can see there, so almost 90, 80, 85, yeah, 90, 150 and 150, almost 100 coins over there as well for sellers. So this is clearly telling us that it's not a floor yet. Okay, price is still struggling. Okay, we may see a breakdown as sellers are still appearing over there. They are still trying to break the low and trying to drag it for further downside. All right, and if you see that big buyers are sitting over there, 90k, right, 90k. Or if I'm gonna look at further downside, right? Okay, so we don't have a huge buyer sitting over there. Okay, I mean, no big pending order sitting over there till 88.70. Yeah, 100 is sitting over there at 88.70. I can go further down. Okay, if I'll go down, okay, this can tell you that where is the demand. Okay, where the big buyer sitting over there at 90. Okay, they are looking to buy more at 90, but this is not that much. This is not the buying momentum which can reverse the price, which can hold the floor and can reverse the price for upside. All right, again 88.80, right, 88.90. Yeah, so not much buyers are there till 85. right, till 85. So we are still don't see so much demand over there on the order book. Okay, and on the other side, if we go and look at the sell, all right, so sellers 96, we can see that there's still big sellers sitting over there at 96. Okay, 96 is at that price. I mean, these might be a panic sellers, those who want the price here, okay, at this area, 96, sitting over there at 96. So big players are sitting over there at 96. They want price to, I mean, might be spoofers as well. All right, you never know that till it exactly triggered. All right, so they want price to stay trending. See that at 95, 94.50, in 94.50, yeah, 93.20, 93.20 is there at this resistance. Okay, that resistance. They want price to stay trending, means that we are not having floor yet on the Bitcoin, as sellers are still in control and they want price to keep dragging more lower. So at the current price, if we look at that how, I mean, big seller 91.70. If I get closer till 10, all right, so we can see there that the sellers are still in force. Okay, they are still forcing. Okay, 10, yeah, so 10, yeah, you don't have buyers there that much. You don't have that much buyers there. Okay, this is telling you that who's in control. Okay, they don't want price to go there. They want price to just keep dragging lower. Okay, more sellers are there rather than more buyers. Okay, and more red is just happening over there. More red transactions are appearing over there on the tape. Okay, some buyers come in, but sellers are in control. You don't have a bottom over there. You don't have a floor over there yet on the Bitcoin till you see a clear huge spike over there for upside. Okay, spike something like let's go to the trading view now. Spike something like this. Yeah, that will spike something like that. That will confirm that the floor is there. Okay, like this. Spike like that. That will confirm. Okay, so you only gonna get that spike when buyers gonna come in. All right, I've shown you the outer book. Now you are sensing now that you know how this big candle gonna appear. Right, if more green's gonna come on the outer book, all right, more buyers, more, you know, buyers gonna jump into the market, then you're gonna have that candle. All right, you're not gonna have that candle or that buying or upside. This will confirm that yes, they jumped in. All right, they don't want price to. It's a similar story. Okay, it's a similar story. Look at this. Okay, huge sellers, so many sellers, they sold so many red. Okay, and then when price came, they don't let the price to go above this. They sold again, go down, and when price again came, this is a big player. Those were the big players. Okay, they don't want price to go that much there. They want price to just continue. They sold their Bitcoins, okay, and then price started to fall. So you need similar kind of price action. You need big players, this, okay, there, like that, okay, and then pull back, and then boom, you're gonna go back up. That's how price action appears. That's how price mechanism work. All right, when the big buying gonna come, you're gonna see that price automatically gonna hold the floor and gonna start rising for upside. Okay, and this is what I'm talking about. This is what you need. You see that? That's what you need. It's telling you clearly that boom, big buyers, someone bought aggressively here and that, okay, and which set the trend and reversed the trend, and then price never looked back. Right, then continue to keep climbing higher. So you don't have that. You don't have that price action. So hence you don't have a reversal yet. Okay, so sellers are still in control. Our book is showing that they keep selling, right? And we are in a bearish trend, this bearish trend, right? And what this price action is telling me, okay, this price action, whole price action is telling me that, you see that aggressive sellers, then again aggressive, they are not that much aggressive, which, I mean, the same sensitivity wasn't there, the sensitivity which we were having over there, okay? Then again, some sensitivity came over there, strong bearish sensitivity, right? Okay, so again, you got some sellers there, right? But they are struggling. They're dying now because price is almost dropped. Right, so price is almost dropped 30%. Okay, so 30% dropped. All right, now let's just, you know, go back to the basics, which I was talking about. Money supply increasing, inflation coming down, Fed interest rate coming down. All right, Fed is bringing interest rate to 2%. Okay, means more money coming into the market, more easy money. All right, less interest cost, cheap interest payment, more money coming into the market. All right, and stable coins are also coming. All right, so all this picture is going to be a bullish for longer term. Yeah, so buyers gonna jump in, gonna come in, and they're gonna drive the price higher. So soon we're gonna have a floor over there, and the move which we are expecting gonna go back up. So if we see a bullish move on the equities, which I have just shown you are a liar, okay, then we can go back up this much. Then buyers can appear over there. Okay, and these are the targets. All right, and these are the targets. Okay, and this target, that target, right, and that target, and that target. Bullish, we are bullish on the Bitcoin, right? No reason being bearish. It's good that some weekends are coming out, and you're gonna have that trend gonna intact or upside. All right, now you understand the price action, what's happening over there on lower time frame, who's in control. Sellers are still in control. You need some big buying, all right, and floor, and then go back up. Same on the Ethereum as well. All right, so you want me to look at the currencies? So DXY, all right, so DXY to go back up simply. Yeah, how do we know that the DXY gonna continue its trend again? Go back to the basics. All right, last time, yeah, old chart, we were expecting it to go down. Nice draw we had over there. All right, now we're expecting it to go back up. All right, so go back up. So okay, so go back up. So how do we know that it has to go back up again? There is the dollar against the yen. Yeah, if dollar, if the XY is not going that much higher, yeah, this anything can drive, right? So you know, after when move happen, you know the reasons after the move happens, all right? You don't know the reasons before move happens, all right? Reasons always come after the moves, all right? But what we know that the dollar is gaining against the yen, all right, which means that we were expecting this breakout here at this area on the XY, all right, and the move has begun, all right? So yeah, so small move in lower time frame euro chart, okay, and then again may stay sideways for a while before we can catch up. It can catch up really quickly to that, to the, I mean, if ECB cut and be more dovish, you're gonna see that the DXY gonna go back up, and they may cut next month, and they don't want euro to stay above 120. They want euro to stay down, you know, or fall down from 120. All right, so it's a sign. So DSY to just continue. All right, and yeah, so there you can get some good opportunities on this currency if you're trading on the currencies. All right, this is a very good currency to look for short. All right, Australian dollar, okay, is bit strong because of the commodities, because of the silver, because of the gold. All right, bit more strong, but it's gonna go down. All right, because Australian bank is not cutting the interest rate. All right, they're still holding the interest rate, and storage is very much simple on this chart, guys. Okay, both currencies are highly correlated to each other. The New Zealand dollar and the Australian dollar, they are correlated. All right, and weekly chart gonna be much better. right? So we are coming at the floor. Okay, opportunities are there on the Australian dollar. Australian dollar has to fall, all right? Okay, that's where you see, all right? So New Zealand dollar is weaker because of the turmoil which we are having right now in the market, and New Zealand is not doing good. Their economy is not doing good. All right, so this is the move. That's the move. You just keep selling it every time that the Australian dollar come in there. You're shorting it. All right, you're selling it. All right, you're selling that. All right, let me find the chart. The Australian dollar chart. All right, so opportunity is going to be on the Australian dollar. All right, that's where you can find your resistance. Right, and that's how much potential you are having. That much potential. Okay, daily time frame. I will look at the lower time frame. All right, let me go to the chart, Australian dollar chart. Okay, so you just keep hitting the Australian dollar top every time, and you see that the Australian dollar is coming close to 66. Okay, you're hitting the head and looking it to drop. And at any time it can drag lower aggressively. All right, so we had that chart. We were expecting to fall. Yeah, I find it. Right, this is the recent trade we were expecting on it. We got a drop. We were expecting it to drop. Okay, so we got a drop. And this is the drop which is just happening over there. All right, so 66. All right, so price is coming close to 66. You are hitting the head and looking it to continue to keep dragging lower. All right, and this resistance to hold. Yeah, nice trade. Yeah, nice shot. All right, but this trade is, I mean, the Australian dollar is not the only one you can sell. I mean, Australian against the dollar is not the one you can sell. All right, so the Australian dollar can be sold against the CAD as well. All right, this chart. First, look at this chart, and then look at this chart, and then look at this chart. All right, this is the opportunity we are. It's already dropped, okay, from that top. So Kiwi and Australian dollar, both currencies are highly correlated. If one moves, right, then the other will move too. Okay, now the New Zealand dollar has fallen aggressively against the CAD, heading towards the April low. All right, and heading towards that April low, right? And if we look at this, okay, we haven't even fallen to June lows against the. Again, the reason is simple. They are not cutting the interest rate. Okay, they cannot keep the interest rate higher. Right? They have to cut. They have to follow the other central banks. Okay, once they're gonna start following the other central banks, you're gonna see that their currency gonna drag lower. Yeah, so their currency gonna drop. Yeah, this chart, right? And this chart we were looking for the opportunity. So you're searching the same trade. We may test the top again. Okay, so we may test the top again. And if we test the top again, you're searching the chart opportunities. All right. And you're looking at it to continue to keep dragging lower. Okay, we look at that. We look at the, okay, so this is what we are expecting. So short opportunities. This is a 4-hour time frame. You can get even lower time frame opportunities as well, but you not let the price to go back to 66. All right, and the price is struggling to break through these lows, all right, in these areas, but we're gonna get that. Okay, we're gonna get that again. You know, you go and look at this chart, invert that chart. All right, you can see there what you are doing and why you are doing. All right, and this is what you're doing for next 2 to 3 months till they start cutting the interest rate. Okay, they're going to cut the interest rate, and you see that it will come down. So this is very much done. Okay, the drop is very much done. You don't have opportunity here on the New Zealand dollar. It still can continue to keep dragging lower. All right, can continue to keep dragging lower. You see there. Okay, this, see what, all right, this, see this. Yeah, we are heading towards that high, towards that June high. All right, this June high. All right, so June high is there. Yeah, we are heading toward that. All right, we are heading towards that. Just pull out your Australian dollar chart into it and find that what it should do. Easy stuff. Yeah, no, it's easy. So I'm gonna just simply pull out Australian dollar, AUDUSD, right, and let's just invert that. See that difference? Where you should choose the opportunity. You get the Australian dollar, all right, very well ahead the dollar yen. That's the opportunity. So you keep selling it every time, wherever it is. All right, wherever the Australian dollar is, you're searching it to drop. Yeah, see the opportunity. Yeah, let me make it clear. Can give you good trades, guys. Can give you good trades every time when it come close to that top. Yeah, example I have just shown you. All right, this is the example. Yeah, good trade, good move. Bang, still going down. So okay, so that's your Australian dollar. So Australian dollar against the CAD is also a good opportunity. Yeah, this Australian dollar against the Kiwi already dragging lower. Okay, Australian dollar is still strong. So same trade. Okay, it's a same trade. Either you take the Australian dollar against the dollar, or you take the Australian dollar against the CAD. Both are same. All right. Yeah, just keep selling them from 92. All right, 92 price come tag 92. You're searching the sell opportunities from 92 and continue to keep dragging lower. Okay, another is this. All right, so you pull out, you see there. All right, what is the reason why I'm saying that? Okay, why I'm saying that we're supposed to sell the Australian dollar? All right, let's talk about that a bit. All right, so let's open it from there. So AUIR, that's the inflation. All right, and let's open the AUNTR. That's the difference. Okay, that's why you need to keep selling the Australian dollar. Let's change the color. Okay, where's the interest rate? Interest rate is at 360. All right, but inflation is 320. Inflation tagged 2%, all right, and then reversed. Inflation tagged 2%, and then reversed from that 2%, okay? And this push up on the inflation from 2% to 3.2 is holding them back to cut the interest rate. Okay, holding the Reserve Bank of Australia to not cut the interest rate, okay, and holding the interest rate 3.60, right? But as we can see that the economy is slowing down across the world, all right, specifically after the Trump tariffs, obviously gonna drag this lower to 2%, okay, and we're gonna have cut. This is the This is a longer term picture, which is not going to change anytime soon. Means that the Australian dollar has to go down. The strength which we are having right now on Australian dollar is driven by this. Okay, if I'm gonna check the, let's quickly check the New Zealand. Okay, NZIRYY. New Zealand inflation and New Zealand interest rate. I have to add that. Okay, so yeah, so I made a mistake. That's New Zealand inflation rate. Need to remove that and compare in interest rate. Oh, that's the Australian dollar. So we need NZINTR. Yeah, see the difference? That's the difference. Yeah, what's the difference? Let's go back and find the AUINTR. Right, that's their interest rate, okay, and we need to pull out the inflation rate as well. AUIRYY. Okay, and then there we can see, let me make the lines more bigger and brighter. So yellow gonna be okay. Okay, that's reflecting in the currencies. Okay, that's reflecting. So that's the Australian. Okay, that's the New Zealand. All right, so that's the interest rate. Make it yellow. Okay, so that's the difference. Okay, the inflation in the New Zealand is 3%. Inflation 3%, while the inflation in the Australia is 3.2. So interest rate is 3.6. Okay, this is the inflation interest rate. While when we look at the inflation here is 3% and interest rate is also 3%. Right? So the interest rate difference is causing that, right? Causing the New Zealand dollar to drop. Okay, but the Australian gonna go after the New Zealand, right? So they're gonna follow them. They're gonna cut the interest rate and currency gonna go down. That's how they do. Big banks, I mean, big countries, like, they always lag. They come after. So that's the reason why you are expecting Australian dollar to fall, and keep selling that every time when it comes to the top. Make sense now? Yeah. Okay, so you're selling it every time when it comes to the top, and wherever it is. Okay, against the chief I was showing. All right, so we were selling this as well. So let me find. We were selling the Aussie chief, Aussie and Kiwi. Pulling back. All right, so the date was 10th of November. 10th of November. So 10th of November. And I mean, there is still opportunity on the Aussie chief. That's why I'm showing you the old chart. All right, so there is this chart and this chart. All right, and Australian against the euro was also same. Okay, so this chart, okay, I was talking about this chart. So we had that move already. So we were expecting Uzi Chief to drop. So sell opportunity was there. So we dropped, we pull back, we drop, and we're pulling back. Okay, the ultimate target is this to break down, okay, and move downside. All right, and Euro Oz also same. This is just inverted. You need to invert that. Both are same. All right, if I'm go back to the chart now, okay, we can see there the chief is very much strong against the kiwi, or kiwi breaking that low. But why you don't have that floor broken yet, right? And you are expecting a pullback came over there, right? And this to continue to keep falling. So if I'll go and look at the place where you're paying attention, all right? Okay, so the correction is not done yet. All right, so correction is not done yet, but it can, yeah. So we can see there that this move hasn't finished yet, right? MACD is still pointing that we can break out and can still push up before we're gonna get the trend over there and gonna stop looking. So within these areas, okay, or this top, within these areas or this top, you're expecting it to hold and look for it to continue to keep dragging lower. All right, searching price action over there for this move to continue. Yeah, where is the floor? It's a similar chart like the Australian dollar against the CAD, or Australian dollar against the dollar. Same chart, all right? It's the same chart, same trade. You are just simply selling Australian dollar across the market. Yeah, so selling it, Australian dollar. Okay, or Australian, Euro Australian. So this is the Euro Oz chart. We were expecting it to go back up. Okay, it's pushing higher. The story is very much same. Yeah, you compare that with the Euro New Zealand dollar. And the Euro New Zealand dollar is just finding something bigger is going to happen. Right? Yeah, continuously pushing higher. This is the top. Again, we already have gone very well above that for our top. Right, so we have very well broken through that top here. Okay, but we are still struggling here. All right, so it's a buy opportunities here when it comes down. You're looking at very much invert the chart. Okay, like Uzi Chief. All right, similar here. Come here and this area and hold that. Continue to keep dragging lower. All right, and that's where we had that. All right, this chart. Okay, so Euro Oz already finding floor going higher. So there you go, the Australian dollar against the Australian dollar. Okay, so these are the opportunities. These are the opportunities you're having. You're looking right on the currencies. So let me check if I do have any other which you are looking. Yeah, so another chart is this. Very slightly late, okay, but it can catch up. It's slightly late, but it can catch up. I mean, it's very late, not slightly late. It's very late, but because it's at the top, the daily top, right? But this is the price you're still expecting it to hold. Right? Go back up to that top, and we may see break above that top, right? And can go very much higher, right? This is also in play, that top, but can go very much higher. All right. Okay, so why? Because the euro is very strong. Euro is making the move. All right, so Euro already broken that top. Right, so Euro broken that top, and there is a chance that we may see some strength, decent strength on the pound against the yen, and that can drive aggressively higher all the way to that high, very much similar like the Euro yen. These two charts are highly correlated. Okay, so my point here, okay, on this, if we're gonna look at this chart, it's trending. Okay, so strongly trending, but we don't have such kind of strength here yet. Okay, we had a gap. We had a gap over there. Test it, and bang, trending. Okay, we are running above that gap. Okay, if it tests that gap again on this daily time frame, you are expecting it to hold and continue to show you a strong aggressive move like that. All right, a bigger time frame analysis, bigger picture. Okay, this is the 200 price. 200 is the price to hold, and can give you a decent move. If not going to give you the full aggressive run, okay, so still gonna be this much buy opportunity, this much. Selling is not a good idea, all right, at the moment. Selling is definitely not a good idea, as so many things are going to so many things are happening in Japan, right? And new row has just came out between the China and the Japan or Taiwan. Yeah, any other asset? So someone was asking the XRP. XRP. So XRP, to be honest, I cannot suggest you anything on this. Yeah, if Bitcoin goes up, then definitely you can expect this to go up. Otherwise, it's in a bearish trend, and can behave really badly. If Bitcoin slightly drag lower, then it can drag more lower too. Yeah, so out of my mind, cannot suggest you anything on this. Okay, so yeah, so many things for learning here today. Yeah, and some longer term opportunities, some short term opportunities, how gold is doing, what you're expecting on gold. Okay, how to look at the gold. Look at this 5-minute, 3-minute chart. All right, so 5-minute chart. Okay, so we are still pushing, keep pushing higher. All right, and I can see there on the gold chart, all right, that the gold is the 15-minute chart. All right, the 15-minute chart is here. Right, so you can see there that the gold is doing good. All right, and breaking that 15-minute time frame, that's what we want. All right, if BTC, yeah, if DXYL will gain, BTC should not go up. That's what's happening right now, right? That's what's happening right now. Yeah, BTC is down, dollar is up, and where you can see the most strength on dollar yen, right? That's what's happening right now. Okay, so BTC obviously, obviously not gonna go back up within a day or two. Yeah, obviously gonna take some time. Yeah, you're not gonna get that run on Bitcoin within a day or two. Obviously, I'm talking about a longer term point of view. Yeah, It taken 40, how many, 43 days. All right, 43 days, 1.5 month. All right, so yeah, that's what I said on the euro. Okay, within next or the Australian dollar, next couple of quarter, 1 or 2 quarters, we can see strength on the dollar. Right, and that's what Bitcoin is showing you already. Dollar yen, many assets are showing that dollar is gaining. Right, many assets are showing that the dollar is gaining. Dollar is gaining the momentum for that move, pricing in the Fed next move. All right, and the DXY is still very well behind that. Okay, still very well behind that. DXY is very well behind that. All right, yeah, the point here, the point we should talk about, how much, if that much move appears over there on DXY, or that much strength come over there on dollar. All right, the strength which we are seeing right now on the dollar against the yen. Yeah, how much lower Bitcoin can go then? That's the question. How much drop we can see if we see that strength? Where is that's why I said that floor is not there yet. Okay, because we don't see buyers. Right, that's the big question. How much, let's, if we're gonna compare that with the previous. Right, so we compare that with the previous strength on dollar. Okay, there is your question. Okay, there is your, okay, dollar went down, clearly DXY went down. Okay, it went down at this area. Okay, weekly time frame. Okay, how low it went. Right, this, it dropped from there to here. Right, from here, okay, to here, that move. Right, that move. Okay, then Bitcoin already predicted that move. Right, and then gone back up. I mean, this move is appearing here. That's your move. Okay, now it's showing you already this move is preparing here. Right, DXY. Okay, so the question is, I mean, sorry. All right, hopefully you got my point. All right, so DXY down, Bitcoin went up. So let me make it more precise. Right, okay, by looking at the dates. These are the dates. All right, so you got the floor here. Right, but you got a floor here on the Bitcoin at this date. Okay, when DXY floor here. Okay, so move started there. All right, so Bitcoin also falling. All right, also falling. So Bitcoin down, right? So DXY also down, right? And then this move, okay, the bearish move appeared over here. So now it's, I didn't invert that, guys. We don't need to let it invert that. Make it more complex. Let's just invert that. All right, so okay, so we started to go back up. All right, so the question here is how low this goes. All right, that's the question. That should be the question. How low this can go. All right, last time, okay, last time when you saw the strength on the DXY, right there. Okay, you saw a sideways market here. Okay, you did not see much drop. Okay, we saw this drop, and then next time, okay, and the next time you saw strength on both here at this area, right? DXY and bang, BTC as well. So how much you resist Bitcoin against the dollar strength? That's the question. All right, how much resistance we see on the Bitcoin against the dollar when dollar start gaining? How much, how low it goes? Okay, last time we didn't see much drop. Okay, it just went into a sideways, and then again buyer came, both went up, right? Similar thing happened here. All right, it dropped, right? Dropped big, okay, but the next complete leg up here over there. All right, this drop appeared here big, so we went up to 126. All right, so that's the question. Okay, how much drag we see over there on Bitcoin while the dollar is gaining? All right, this is supposed to be the question. All right, I think that we're not gonna get much drop on the Bitcoin, guys. I don't think so. We're gonna see big drop on the Bitcoin soon. We're gonna see it will find a floor. All right, and I'm gonna go back up. Okay, what is actually telling me that the Bitcoin gonna go back up? The story I have already told you guys is the story is the stable coins. All right, the story is definitely the stable coin. Yeah, stable coin is this story. So you see there, $300 billion market cap on stable coins, while you're having just 183 in the BTC trillion. All right, it's very small market cap. This is nothing. All right, this market cap is nothing. Okay, if we're gonna go to the gold, I'm gonna look at the gold market cap. All right, so if you're gonna go and look at the gold market cap, right, in this, make it bigger. All right, so make it bigger, and the daily time frame. Okay, daily 4-hour time frame gonna be all right. Okay, so you see total market cap of Bitcoin is 183 trillion. Okay, while you have just seen that gold has moved up from this October lows to the low with 2.3 trillion. All right, just this move on gold, just this move is 2.3 trillion. Just this single move, this up from 39, yeah, from 3900 to 4250. Okay, 4250. This price move, right? Just that much price move pushed. I mean, look at that, 3. So the market cap is very small on Bitcoin. All right, and the stable coin story obviously gonna, pump this, but that's a longer term picture, guys. Can take times. All right, it's not a one-time story. So big planning from the US government. Yeah, so we're gonna see that story gonna unfold after a couple of years. Okay, so I think enough. Anything else? Enough, guys. You learned so much things today. All right, so much things I have explained to you. All right, so bullish on Bitcoin. How deep it goes when the DXY gain, which is just gaining right now, that's going to be the question. All right, I believe that we're not going to have much drop. All right, on Bitcoin. So the 15-minute time frame, yeah, that's the time frame. This is what we are watching right now. All right, break above. I believe that gold gonna climb, aggressively after the non-farm payroll data, guys. Whatever the data is going to be, there definitely going to be pressure on the Fed from the Trump to cut the interest rate again, as Miran you know, which is posted by Trump in the Fed, is also putting pressure on the Fed to cut next month. All right, but they are not listening. So Trump gonna be, if tomorrow non-farm payroll numbers are going to be bad. All right, so right now it's the projection is 58K. All right, if that's going to go below that, or in worst case scenario, if those numbers are going to be negative, all right, bang, you're going to see gold going to climb up very, very aggressive for upside, and there's going to be tremendous pressure on the Fed, specifically from the Fed, from the Trump yesterday was bashing the Powell, sitting with the Saudi's Prince Salman, and bashing the Fed, saying that he's too late, Mr. Too Late. Yeah. So if tomorrow numbers are going to be negative or below 58, I mean very well below 58, gold gonna climb, and there's gonna be tremendous pressure on the Fed to cut the next month, and the whole market gonna go, you know, upside aggressively. Yeah, all this scenario, the things you see into the market gonna change quickly. That's our you know, cards. All right, strong bullish on the equities, as December December is coming. Yeah, strong rally on the equities, and gold to hit the all-time high. All right, and dollar pullback. All right, the pullback, I mean, stay sideways on the euro, which I've just shown you. Okay guys, so thank you very much for joining me, for coming into the live stream. We'll see you back again soon. All right, thanks.